I think we're live.
All
Hello,
right.
everyone. Dan here from Chief Experts, along with our good friend Renee with rabbitdesign.net and good old John Schrader with John at imaginedrafting.com or just
And
imagine-drafting.com.
Whoa. There's Robin.
And it's our favorite Robin. Hi, Robin.
Oh, thank you guys. Hi, good
Yes.
morning. How is everybody?
Everybody.
Yep.
I think we're all great.
How's everybody?
Yeah. So
Cool.
check this out. This is
Be
what
really
I was.
cool to hear how many people are thinking of going. Oh,
That's from
Dan,
our,
that just sucks.
That's from our patio that we spent 5 days at.
Yeah, you're not being very nice.
Oh, come
Don't
on.
share
in
those
here.
kind of things.
I'm giving you something to shoot for. Yeah, that was on Kauai in Hawaii. We just got back last night. So after 18 hours.
How long were you
of
there?
travel, we were there just.
How long were
we
you
left
there?
last Friday. We got there last Friday night and came back last night. So
Nice.
not long enough, but long enough too. It was just really a wonderful getaway. So I really enjoyed it. So I
Good for you.
recommend it to everybody. If you want a great place to stay, text me or call me and I'll tell you where this place was that we stayed at. It was really quite nice. So
Dan, you should do a chief class in there. We should do a chief retreat.
yeah, we did
in
that
Hawaii.
7 years ago, I think it was, that we did it. I did a chief class there. And I think I had a dozen people or 10 people, something like that. It was a small group. We had a wonderful
it was
time.
3 too few. That's what I remember.
Yeah. And then
It sounds like fun though.
Andrew came out and we spent the week out there. So it was it was really nice.
Dan, we should ask how many people are thinking of going to Idaho this summer. It'd be really cool to plan like a get together with some people if they're thinking of going to
Yeah.
Idaho. If anybody is planning on it, let us know. It'd be great to know.
Yeah.
Be able to see you.
Yeah, I'll put out some messages about that. And we always get together on Tuesday afternoon. So if you can get there Tuesday morning by 1 o'clock, we always spend Tuesday afternoon on the main street in downtown Coeur d'Alene, having dinner and chatting. So we've done that now. How many years in a row have we done that, John? 4 or 5 years in a row?
Ever since I've been going.
Yeah, it's always
Ebony,
been real.
Ebony says she's going to go. That'll be so much fun to see the beautiful Ebony. Always can't ever
Awesome.
get enough of that woman.
Yeah,
What
cool,
is it?
Ebony.
Where
It'll
are
be
you
fun
going
to
to?
see again. Coeur d'Alene.
What's that?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For the chief thingamajinger that we always go to. Isn't that what it's called? The thingamajinger?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's
so
the
it's fun.
technical term, Dan.
Yeah. But anyway, welcome everyone to our show. Thanks for being here. And we're going to just, you guys have added some questions to our sheet. I've got this up to, looks like about 61 questions or comments, but some of those we answered last week, and we'll probably do this again next time. So this is really a lot of fun, and just finally getting the hang of how to go through this and organize it properly. So it's really cool. In
Dan,
fact,
would
let me just show you what I'm looking at. Let me share my screen and pull this up here. What was that, Robin?
Oh, no, I was going to ask you to share the list again, but I have it right here.
Yeah, you should. You should have two of them. One would look like this one, which is going to have colors and things on it, which I just set this because we got back. So our flight got delayed and cost us about 8 hours of travel yesterday. It's like, it was awful. We were awake for 38 hours straight. It was a long time. Anyway, we made it back safely and we got a great night's sleep last night. But this is what we're looking at. So the green is things we've already covered. The blue is just general discussion of things we can talk about, and the yellow is things we want to talk about. So as you can see, there's a lot of things on this list, which I seriously haven't had time to go through because I just started looking at this about an hour ago. And but we've got a lot to talk about. So I did prepare something, so I'll just jump into it. But before I jump into that, let me pull this, let me leave that up here. Let's just go over to good old Chief Experts again. And just keep in mind, we've got a couple of classes coming up. Got one here in April in Bloomington. So we've done a bunch of these here right here in the Twin Cities. It's a 5-minute, well, we'll give it a 10-minute shuttle ride from the airport. It's a free shuttle. You land, you hop on the shuttle, get to the hotel, and you're there. That's where we're doing the training right there. We've got some great rates on the hotel. I think it's $129 a night it's a nice little hotel. It's a Hampton Inn. and they really do a good job. So John and I will be teaching a class there in April, and then we're moving to Rockville in May, and you get some really good response on this class. This is the class we did. I think this one was from last year, wasn't it, John? This looks about right. We had a really good, we had a great turn. It might have been the year before, but this would be our third year in a row going back to this. It's sponsored by the professional remodeling organization there out east, and it is again, it's the same format we always do. It's the first 2 days are, I think, beginner intermediate, where we really dive into the software. The next 2 days after that are more intermediate advanced. We kind of continue on into more of the program, and or you can take all 4 days. So it's really been a good format for us, and it's really a lot of fun. So about 2/3 of the people will generally take all 4 days. But if your time is tight and you just want to really brush up on Chief, take one of the 2-day classes. And it's put on by Ferguson. We're at a Ferguson facility, I should say. And then Daniel there always brings in sponsors that will give us lunch, and it's really cool. So it's a nice little event. So
well, Dan, it's a fundraiser too for a certain group. So if anybody's out there that has a group that they're a part of that wants to sponsor a training, we'd be open to that too, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we do give a proportion of the proceeds to professional remodeling organization there,
So
because
it's like a fundraiser for them.
But part of it is they're promoting it too to their people.
Right.
So that's part of the reason why we can afford to do that. So they're bringing people to our class. So if you've got an organization
and they're providing the space, and they're providing the food and that kind of stuff, so that helps too.
All that helps. So so it works out really well for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody. So we have a great time doing that. And then again, our Pro Academy, we're still going strong there. We're having a great time. How'd it go this week, John? You were there Wednesday doing the event?
It went good. Went good. Had 2 guys that asked most of the questions or interacted most. Tried to get a few more involved, but
cool. Yeah, that's all right. That happens, and it always spurs great conversation. So
Mike said I sent him home with homework without giving him homework. So
yes, sometimes these things we do prompt more questions than answers, or they provide answers, but then it prompts more questions. So that's kind of
more questions, and man, I got to do that to my stuff now.
Exactly. yeah. Anywho, let's move on, guys. Thanks for being here. And let me just start with one of the questions that is on the list. This is actually from last week's list from Rebecca. She asked about creating parapet walls to disguise a low sloping roof is difficult. All right. No, not really. So here's the key to doing that. So someone just commented about we do record all of our sessions, by the way, in the Pro Academy. So if you do miss something, it's always going to be there. And my software just announced this week I can do clickable time codes now. So that's actually may not sound much to you, but it's kind of a big deal for me. So doing a house with exposed walls, parapet walls like this, there's a little process you have to go through. Okay, so this is a 2-story building. Here's the second floor. Here's the first floor. And I know not, if it's a simple building like this, piece of cake. Sometimes part of the building is this and some isn't. But really the simple answer to this is create a second floor, set the ceiling height in the area where you want your parapets to be at the ceiling height of the parapet. Now you can grab these walls and pull them up and down, and you can reshape them just like any other wall after you've done it. Now I see for some reason the cap is not cooperating very well here, so I might have to just use a molding polyline to form that cap, which I do all the time.
Dan, use the wall layer tool when you select the wall.
The wall layer tool.
It's the corner is not coming together right. Try using the wall layer.
Use this. Got to click on the top of the wall to do that, I believe. That would be this one, right?
Dark blue one there, right? The dark blue one.
No, where'd it go? Oh, this one.
Yeah.
And I can pull that layer out. Does that help? Didn't help.
Still didn't work.
Yeah. It's part of it is this wall here. I wonder if I pulled this wall up or down, but um, let's not worry about that right now. Let's just talk about
Yep.
the process of this. This is an easy cover. I just put a slab on top of it, done. And I've done things too where I've just done the slabs. You just make them like that. Could be a molding polyline, could be a slab that you draw and shape like that. Really easy to do to cap those walls. But if you use, you could use railings too with a cap on top. I don't know if you guys have a favorite or not. I don't do many parapets, so not really sure what you might want to do. You notice here that it's all kind of broke up. It's like this. Quick way to repair that is just to go into the dialog, go to structure and hit just redo the default, and that'll make it back into a straight wall and follow the ceiling height of the room. So all I've done here, if I peel this back, I've got a, let's make this room on the second floor. I'm going to have to go down here to the floor plan. So I'm on the second floor. One of the things that I see I had a ceiling in there. Make sure you turn the ceiling off in the room. I've made the floor open below. So I've named it open below. I'm not using the floor system because a parapet wall situation is going to be a roof, not a floor. So I have to get rid of the roof. And in order to do the proper framing, I'm using a ceiling plane to create the ceiling in the space. So we got a roof plane, we've got a ceiling plane. Ceiling planes are under the roof tool, you're drawing that in place. So the ceiling plane is set to 0. So you would switch to the ceiling plane, double click on it, set your pitch to 0, draw your ceiling plane on the first floor, and that'll put it at the same height as the ceiling height of that room when you draw your ceiling plane. So it's just a box that you can draw wherever you want. So that creates your ceiling plane. That's going to create the bottom side of where your framing is going to go. And then the roof's going to create the top side of where your framing is going to go. So you put your roof in, and you're generally going to do these with a manual roof, although, yeah, you could set your roof slope. I've made my roof pitch here 1/4 inch. I could have gone to the wall here, and in that wall, I could have just gone to the roof tab and set this at 1/4 inch. And when I did the automatic roofs, then it would have made that pitch above that particular wall, that pitch. So that would have worked pretty well. So, but I just drew this manual. And when you do that and you do the framing, so if I do a cross section through this, where'd it go? No, I just didn't create one. Let's go create a cross section through this. And when you draw your trusses, the truss is going to form. The bottom of the truss is going to form at the ceiling plane. The top of the truss is going to follow the slope of the roof. If you're doing hand framing, just frame it. So all I have to do is, create come on, what's going on here? No, it's right. I'm in a cross section, not a rotate. All I have to do is, if those are in the right place, you're done. I mean, it's really quite easy to do. You could set this wall if you want that to be a balloon frame wall. Just set that wall on the first floor to frame through the ceiling above. So you'd go to structure and you would balloon through the ceiling, and that'll balloon frame that wall when you do the auto wall framing. Who's slurping? Not me.
Robin.
Robin.
You always make it look so easy. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm listening.
All right.
You make it look so easy, Dan.
Well, it again, you get a complicated project. Yeah, it's going to be more complicated, but the concept is exactly the same. All right. So I've got my ceiling plane. It is again, if because my roof is covering this. I'm trying to think. I want my truss to follow my ceiling plane, so my ceiling plane needs to go over the wall here. The ceiling plane is on the inside of the wall everywhere else, because I don't want the ceiling plane to cover that. But the ceiling plane is going to form the bottom of where your roof framing is going to be. It creates that polyline. So when it's interesting when you do the framing in Chief, what Chief does for a truss, all it does is it looks for the bottom of the roof sheathing, okay, up here, bottom of roof sheathing, looks for the top of the ceiling plane. It creates a polyline, and it fills it in with these other polyline shapes that look like a truss. That's all it does. There's no structural about. I can take that polyline, I can reshape it any way I want to. You can see it's kind of messed up now, but there. So it's really, that's all Chief does when you're creating that kind of a roof and the framing for that kind of a roof. So
Fabulous.
don't let
You
you know.
didn't-
And you notice that the back of the roof here, in my 3D view, it's coming over the roof and hanging, so it's cutting the wall off here. Anytime a roof covers the wall, it's going to cut it off. So if I back, that wall is going to go up to the same height as the other walls because that'll follow the ceiling height. But when you
Nice.
cover that wall, unlike that. What did
Dan,
you
will
say,
you
Robbie?
show how you can select the room in this view to drag your walls up?
The room to
Yeah.
change the wall? Well,
Yeah.
here, you notice here I'm getting the first floor. How do I get the room in this floor here? Renee?
Click the inside of that wall and hit tab.
I love how you almost said my name, and it's like, yeah, I wouldn't know.
Okay,
You have to
here's
go to tab.
tab. Oh, there's the room now.
And
Yeah.
then drag
So,
that top edit handle up.
yep, that's going to move the whole room height up and down. So,
Nice.
yeah. And again, this wall here is still being cut off by the roof because when a roof
Nice.
covers a wall, it's going to cut it off. Why this isn't filling in, I do not know. Should be. It's unusual that it's doing that.
Is your ceiling too far into the wall? Do you need to pull it back
Go to
just
your-
a tiny bit?
Go to your floor plan and
Hold
select
on,
that wall.
Yeah, was it doing it? See, it's doing better here, but it's still off a little bit. Huh.
Break that roof right there at the wall.
Yeah, that might solve it. Just bring that around a little bit. It's probably interacting with the wall weird. But generally, that's how I do my parapet wall anyway. I'd bring that out like that. Let's see if that fixes it over here. Oh, something fixed it. I jiggled it enough.
There's a question about, can you use this to create a deck over a room?
A deck over a room should never be done because
Why?
a deck will leak into the room
Oh yeah.
because the deck's going to
I have a
be.
system though to put the roof between the joists of the deck and make it waterproof.
Oh yeah, exactly. Could I put a deck on top of this room with the roof underneath it? Yeah, that wouldn't be
should
a
be able
problem.
to.
Yeah.
It's going to give you a warning that says there's a room underneath this deck.
Yeah.
It may not frame properly, but it's just telling you it might not frame properly. So go ahead and do it and see what happens.
So let me go back here. So let's say I want to do. I wouldn't do that. Would I do that? Let's just draw some railings here and see what happens. So let's just go to the railing tool. Let's just put a deck here. Oops, made a crooked deck. And let's just do this. Let's just put it in the middle of the roof. See what happens. I haven't thought about this.
The infamous island room, huh?
Yeah, the
I
infamous.
don't think they've fixed that yet.
No, it still needs to be connected to the outside wall with an invisible wall.
Yeah.
In order to function properly. So that needs to. I don't think they have. All right, let's see if.
I've done that a few times, and it might be doing it automatically, but I've never put it in there on purpose.
It usually does do it automatically. All right, let's see what that looks like. That doesn't look so good. There's my deck. Oh, the deck ended up
You put it on the wrong floor.
Well, here, let's just move the roof plane down. I'm going to do that from the floor plan. Move that dotted lines down, which then it will show up on. That's right, a roof covering a deck.
Try moving the deck up 4 feet, deck floor up 4
Yeah.
feet or so it gets above the roof.
All right. I don't think it's going to, because a I might have to put the deck on a different floor.
Oh, actually build a new floor and make it like a 0 floor.
Yeah. Let's see. What am I looking for? Finished floor. Let's make this 60. And well, that's just doing
Floor
the
height
height.
off deck.
Floor below, floor here, 140. That's going to move that whole room up. I'm going to have to think about this one. I don't remember how to do this.
There it
There
is.
it's a little better. Oh, yeah. So it was too low. Okay.
Yeah, just move it up
I
another
can
2 feet.
select
Oh.
that room. Okay, there it goes. All right. So deck will produce. Yeah, that's true. It will produce, but the railings are not going the right place. Why not? What happened to my railing ceiling height an issue? Floor ceiling height's only 17 inches. Let's make that 8. Let's make that 60. Not doing anything. Let me research that one. I'll cover that one next time. I don't quite remember the steps I would use to do that, but typically, a deck is, it's the railing here that's going to be an issue if it's going to sit on top of a roof. See, when you pull the roof out of the way, let's see what happens. See, now it generates everything properly. It's the roof covering that deck that messes with it. So anytime a roof covers a wall or a railing, it's going to cut it off. See how it's cutting that off there? So
You can't put a room on top. Could you put a hole in the roof and actually put a floor in there?
yeah, that's no big. That'd be like putting a dormer there. I mean, same difference. You cut the roof out of the way, and you're gonna have something sticking
Dan,
through. So
Right,
if you
okay.
if you put the deck on the second, you put it on the first floor, right?
now the deck's on the second floor. I thought I
What
did.
floor is the roof on?
Um, the deck framing is on the first floor. The deck itself is on the second floor. I could probably create a third floor and put the deck there. Maybe that would help. Let's
Because
move on.
I'm
And
cur-
let me
Well, let's go to a new one.
let me do
Yeah.
something. Let me make a note here to I'll add the deck on next show. Okay. Let me research the
Dan.
proper way to do that. Yeah.
Somebody was asking about project management, the project management system. Can
Mhm.
you go over that again? I think that still some people are having issues in it. I think, we've been using project management longer so that we're learning how to use it easier. There is
Yeah.
somebody who had a question about that. That to me just seems like that might be an easier one just to kind of hit and give some people
Well,
some decent advice.
again, bottom line is the project management system in Chief Architect keeps all of your plans that you're currently working on in a central database within the program itself. So there are no separate files available as you're working on your plan. They're all kept here on this list. All right, so that's first thing to understand. We can once you once you get used to it, you're gonna love it. It's really cool, but it does take some really getting used to. What you have to think about here, and this is what I tell everybody, is when you have a filing system. Okay, so you've got a system where you keep your projects. Let me just, here I keep my projects in folders where I have, for different projects, I put the different things in there. So with this one, I might have subfolders in, and then I have things in that, and I might share these with people so that they can work on them. Okay, so the project management system is the same exact thing. I wish they would make this icon look like a folder, because that's kind of what it is, and that is what it is. It's a folder that keeps all of your things in as you're working on them in Chief's central database. And you can then have all sorts of things. You can create copies of plans. When you right click on something here, you get a ton of options on what you could do with things. You can rename things, you can make copies of things, you can make things into templates. It's just really, really slick, I think. You can have subfolders, you could have version 1, 2, 3, 4 and subfolders. So you got to get used to right clicking to make choices on what you do with this.
So, but if I
Now,
can ask a question, Dan, how do you save it? Because people don't want to just leave it on their chief program. They want to put it somewhere. So how do you
right.
save it in a
So
way that then it can be shared and you know which program you're using,
the way
which version you're using?
the way you share it is by right clicking on something and you're gonna export that project. Remember, I don't think I can export. Can I export subfolders? I cannot. I have to export the whole project. Remember, I said
You
this
can,
is like a big folder that holds everything. Okay, so I have to export the big folder,
once you
and
hit
then
export, then you can select what you want to export.
correct. Yeah, thank you, John. That's right. So now I could say, well, I don't want to send someone these things. I just want to send them those, or pick and choose whatever ones you want to send. This is what you're going to create. This is what you're going to create you're going to create a zipped folder that has all this stuff in it. If you've ever used Chief's backup system before in previous versions, so if I were to go back to X16, I'll get out of there. Or go to back to X16 for a second, and you open something, and you want to create usually you'd say the files are saved on your hard drive and they're part of Dropbox, and you share your Dropbox, or you just go send them a folder, or you go to File, backup entire layout, okay, or backup entire plan. And what that's going to do is back up the plan and all attached files, PDFs, images, everything that's part of that project, part of that plan. But you don't get the choice to do version A, B, C, D. You're only doing one. Unless it's all on the layout, then it's going to capture all of them. So here you get to choose which ones you want to do. You're going to hit OK. You're going to create what's called the CA project file, Chief Architect Project File. That equals ZIP, okay? That equals zip file. That's what CA Proj does. It puts all this stuff in a zip file. It doesn't say zip, it says CA Proj file. So when I export that and I put it somewhere, let me just throw it here in my temp file for now. So when I export that and I hit save, we can't find some images, that's fine. So now it's creating all of that stuff and it's putting it in one project file. Okay, there you go, 3 plans saved, 1 file, okay. And then you go to your file folders, and then you're going to be able to find those. Let me just go here. So here's what I just created. That's that project, CA project file. So let me make a copy of that and show you something. And I'll paste it here. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to rename the CA proj to ZIP, to zip. And I'll demonstrate what it's just done. So someone's got some background noise going there. So when I click on the zip, I could extract it now. So I could hit extract all, and that's going to do this. And I hit extract, and then it's going to show me everything that's in that zip, that proj file, that project file. So here's your assets. Here's all the images and everything that's part of that plan. And then here is all of the project, the files, okay? And there's all the different files that I created. So it puts everything in one place. That's all it's doing. In fact, you could just
So the reason why you took us through this zip exercise is just to show that it's not really any different than what it used to do it.
Exactly.
It's just handling it within Chief rather than you having to go physically unzip stuff.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I have another question on that too. So you noticed how when you went to save it, certain images, certain materials were not following the project. And this is
right,
probably
that's
a Renee
because
question.
this was an old project.
Well,
This
I know
is
that, but that happens even with brand new projects that were in X18. How come materials? Oh, no, or X17. Sorry, I don't know why I'm thinking 18, but I have students sending me. Sorry about background noise, you guys, but I have students sending me projects, and some of their images will not follow the project, like you just showed. So why is that, and what's going on, and how do we fix that?
That's what this is supposed to solve, is those
It's
error
not
messages.
solving it. We're still having that issue. So, because I'm sharing files all the time with students,
Yeah,
and I'd
they're
like to
doing the
know
project
how to
files.
fix it. And they're doing the project, and they're saving the material in their user library, and then they're sending me a CAPROJ, and then when I open it up, we'll find things that are not following the project. And this happens constantly. I can send you images. I can send you projects constantly.
Which template are they using?
I'm sorry, say that again, Renee.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They're
can hear you now.
missing it on their machine as well.
That's what I'm
Oh,
thinking.
so if they're opening it, well, okay, so let me ask you this question. So they might be
So a
doing
fix
the
for
project
that-
on,
A
Yeah.
fix for that is if they do a backup, it will prompt to show what missing files are there. Or if they were to export their library and it was coming from the library, it will prompt to show that there are missing files. And they can
Robin,
try-
here's how I think you solve that, because you're probably
Okay.
giving them your old template, right?
no. Let me tell you what's happening. So some of the students are working on their project on their computer at home. Then they
Mhm.
come to school and they
What
open
are
their
they
project,
using? What are they using to start the project?
a
Which
template
template?
my template that I gave them originally.
Check your template to make sure everything is there, because your template
Oh,
might
so
be
it could have,
missing. Could it be originating at your template level? So go to
oh,
your
how do I,
template and
got it.
export that, and then re-import it, and it'll give you a list of the missing files. So
And
replace
then
them with
delete
something
those.
new or delete them.
Yeah,
Yes,
or
that should
delete them.
solve that.
Okay, so okay, that sounds great. But what's happening is students will put a new product into their project, like they'll put a tile into their project and they'll save it in their user library. And then when they send it to me, I don't see their tile. So I understand what you're saying. That's probably happening at my level,
That
but
should
it's
be
also
there.
happening at their level.
See, that's
So it
that's
could,
what that's what the
okay,
project management's supposed to solve. That should be there. So
okay.
if
So
there's
I
a
think what's
bug,
happening is sometimes students are putting a product in their project and they're not saving it to their user library first. So they need to make
possibly.
sure they're saving it that way. Okay, well,
Although,
I will work on that.
Renee, should that matter? Once it's in your plan, shouldn't it just be part of your project automatically?
Sometimes it can be missing from their machine because it got relocated, or for some reason, the merge function in Asset Manager sometimes makes
Yeah.
things appear missing even though they're in the managed folder. So they need
Yeah.
to relocate it.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
So
Yeah,
we're not
let us know. Check that, Robin, and let us know what you've come up with. See if
Yeah, my
you found
school may
some
be
missing.
going on strike next week, so I'll have lots of time.
Oh, joy.
so we're not done talking about project manager yet. How
No,
do I
no,
get how do I get my project back into?
right.
This
So,
happened to me. This happened to me on Wednesday. It's been a couple of weeks since or it's a couple of months since I've really done a lot in Chief.
yeah,
And this particular thing, it might be 3 or 4 months. But how do I get my project back into Chief to be able to work on it? Because I was
right.
up at the top looking at
So what
open
tends to
project,
happen?
that kind of stuff.
So here's what I exported. I exported some of the things out of this project. Okay. Um, so there's that project. And if I go import that back in, now let's say I'm going to a different computer, I'm going to import it, work on it, and then I'm going to bring it back onto this computer. Okay, so I go file, I go up to my import options, and I go import a project, or I could go, I think I can open a project up here too, can I? I think I
No,
just
you
go to
can't.
import.
You can't open up. If you go to open project, you will not find it.
Okay, so I go to import project. That's what
Yes.
I always do anyway. And then I go find that file that I created, which I put in my temp folder. Okay, so there it is. So let's say I've worked on it and oh, here it is. Here's the original one. Okay, so there it is. And I'm going to bring it back in. I'm going to open it, and it's going to pop up here and show me what it's bringing in. See a little spinning wheel. So here's what it's bringing back in, just the things I had exported earlier. And you notice it put the number 1 after it. So it's not going to take this stuff and put it back into the original folder that I got it from. You don't want it. You probably don't want it to do that, because you might overwrite some things you don't want to overwrite. All right. So it's going to bring in a whole new project. And this is where a lot of people get really confused. Okay, so here's the old project where I exported that stuff from. Here's the one that I just brought back in that someone worked on, and now I get to work on it some more myself. All right, so what I'm going to do in that case is like, okay, so here's version 2. Maybe they worked on it, and now it's version 3. Okay, so I'm going to just click on that, rename it version 3. And then I'm going to take that, and I'm going to put it back into my original folder for that job, and I'll say yes, bring it back in. Now I have version 2 and version 3. Actually, I want to put it on its own level. So I have version 2. So I've just taken that and put it back in my original project. Or in the case, let's say I would have exported all of this stuff and I have a Peggy 1 and just a plain Peggy, I would take this and I would just delete the whole thing. And then, John, you mentioned you like to do your backup. Every time you save it, it makes a backup copy. So you've always got it there. You never have to worry if you're going
Right.
to delete them.
Yep.
So that works fine too. But then I would delete this and then I would just just get rid of this here. And so I'm back. So there's a little bit of management involved here to make sure that, here it is. It created a new one. It just have to be careful when you're bringing things back in. You're going to get more and more projects, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if that's happening, make sure you're getting rid of the old ones.
So I like to I like to do the backup, like Dan said, set it up to back up every time I save it. And then I use the delete function because there's an export and delete. So it's one smooth move. Now sometimes I only have one copy of stuff plus the backup. Other times there'll be a copy. Once it comes back onto my computer, now I have 2 copies, one in Dropbox and one on my computer.
Yeah.
And then I send it back and I'll overwrite the file from before.
Right.
So I don't end up with a dozen copies of stuff.
So
That's the way I do it too. It terrifies my students when it says export and delete. They're terrified about.
I wish they would just change that to save as, even though it's not a true save as, it essentially does.
Right.
Yeah. You're making copies.
Yeah. The delete is scary. It's scary for everybody. Yeah, I agree. They need to rechange some of the words.
Yeah.
Or just change it to move. Just say move. I want to move this to the Dropbox folder, and it's hiding what it's doing.
That's so smart, and it's not scary.
Yeah, the delete word is a trigger word for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Oh no, I'm going to lose everything if I hit delete. Well, just hit export and delete, and then you're going to export this and then delete the one from this.
That is your save as for sharing with the team or sharing with another machine.
And then it instantly cleans up your list here. So now I've made a copy of the whole thing. It's on my hard drive. That's a great way I'm done with this. I'm 100% done with this project now. I'm not going to ever work on it again, but maybe I will. But I want to save this in my client's folder now. So now I go export and delete. So I go export. I'm going to export everything. Actually, I'm going to go, export. I'm going to hit delete because I want to get rid of it from my list here. And I'm going to export it and delete it from here. Okay.
And if you want to even save some clicks, you can even just hit your delete button once you highlight it.
Yeah. And then so it'll do the same thing.
Yeah. Which kind of, if you want to archive your projects, it kind of answers Mike here. How slow is the archive project update? Too long? And I would still say, yeah, it takes way too long. But yeah, if you limit the number of projects you have in there, the backup process should be a little bit faster.
Oh, you're talking about when you exit the program and ask if you want to back up.
You want to back it up.
Let's see. I've got a lot of stuff open. I'm not going to do that.
My backup takes 30 minutes. People kept telling me that it doesn't work and it's getting hung up. It works. It just takes forever.
Yeah, you're backing up probably terabytes worth of stuff, and who knows how big the backup file is now. The more projects you get in it, the bigger the file is going to be because it's backing up all of the plans, the layouts, the PDFs, the pictures, the materials, anything that's associated with the plans that you're working on. It's making a backup copy of all of that stuff. So it's a lot of stuff going on there. So back up at the end of the day but just leave your computer on, you're good to go. Robin, you got spaceships flying around your place, or what is that noise?
Actually, muted. I'm staying muted. It's not me.
Yeah.
Is it mine? It might be mine. Hang on a second.
That's you, John. So
John, you got a Roomba in your hand?
I'm in a coffee shop, and there's a whole bunch of people sitting next to me. So when I got here, I was the only one here.
You're fine. You can't even hear anything.
That's my Alienware computer.
Oh yeah, it's landing spaceships on your desk. Anyway, cool. So let's move on. Renee, Go talk about temporary dimensions. You had mentioned you want to do that one. We're going to
Answer
make
this
it just
question
a
quick.
fraction of the thing.
Answer
change.
this quick first.
Dimensions?
Answer that first.
What? How can
How
I
can I
change
change
my
my
pointer?
when I'm dimensioning? It's a big black cross.
Oh,
Probably
the
use it.
pointer. You probably switched out of the crosshairs, which is there. I thought there was an icon for that now. Yeah, right here. No, that's not it.
To that
You-
person,
oh,
do they have my templates? Because my templates uses a big black cross in 3D only.
let's see. It's under. Where's the crosshair? Okay, so if you go to the crosshair size, let's just do this. Make the crosshair smaller. What does that look like? Nope, that's not it. So it's a probably a. You've set something up in your 3D.
In my 3D, I use a cross.
Just a small cross, not a crosshair.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I have no idea. I thought maybe it was.
But that's the arrow designation in your dimension default.
Yeah, I thought it was maybe this, but it's not. I've got.
Somebody
I
was,
remember when aperture size. What is that?
while you guys are talking about that, mumbling about it.
Ah,
Mike was asking why it was 2 months since I hadn't been working on Chief. January 1st, I got shingles on my head, and it involved my eyes, so it was really tough to spend much time in front of Chief. That's basically it. Starting to get better now, but still dealing with it.
it's been a long road for you there, John. So.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on. Renee, go ahead and talk about your. Oh, so back to that thing. Check if it's not part of Renee's template. Go to your mouse settings. Maybe check those.
Yeah, so that would just be in your dimension. So if you double click your manual dimension tool, right there, if you double click that, that brings up the defaults that you're currently using. And so there would be your temporary defaults, but really what we're talking about is the arrow. So this is where you would change that arrow. So if it's showing up as a cross as your arrow, then you can go ahead and choose some different.
So is it the
arrow.
dimensions that are showing up like a big black?
I'm thinking that's what they're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what he was saying.
Mike says switch from shingles to standing seam.
Oh, that's funny. Put that on.
I wish I could have done that.
Good job, Mike.
Yeah.
What was it?
It rained for a week where you're at.
You had mentioned you were going to talk about you wanted to cover. Where'd it go? Temporary dimensions, not always dimensioning to the needed direction or the correct layer.
Oh, yeah. Because this happens to me when I'm in the field dimensioning. One thing I like to do with my toolbars is, and I'm just show you this real quick. If you right click on your blank area of your toolbar and go customize toolbars, there is a toolbar in here that I love to have. And that is the active dimension defaults control. So if you drag that onto your toolbars somewhere, that allows you to change the default dimension you're using in this view if you would like to. And so something I do when I'm doing takeoffs is I have a takeoffs dimension default. I'll show you what that does for me, but let me just draw in an interior wall here, and I'll even draw in like a corner wall assembly here. And we can see the temporary.
This is amazing, Renee. I saw you do this when we were in Florida, and I saw your dimension defaults and all your different dimensions, especially for like the NKBA elevations. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. It's Sweet. So cool. And they showed that at Chief 2 years ago, and whoever was teaching did not explain it incredibly well, but it was so good. Now I'm like, oh yeah, I'm all over it. You guys, you have to pay attention to this. This is brilliant.
Okay. So for me, when I'm in the field, you can see I'm just showing foot and inches here. I love when I'm doing actual takeoffs, I love just seeing foot and inches. So I just have a dimension default that I get to switch to very quickly for that purpose. And then when something's dimensioning to just one side or the other, and we're not getting the correct dimension in our temporary dimensions, one, maybe you're only showing a primary side or a secondary side. And so when I double click the manual dimension tool, this is just showing me manual, meaning I have to have used the dimension tool for this to take effect. Right now we're talking about temporary. So I'm showing primary and secondary side. Let's, for instance, say that I'm only showing primary side in my dimension default, so that when I select this, it's showing just one side.
So,
now I want you to notice, what's that?
Is primary side affected by which side of that framing is at the top of the in the
Primary
wall
side,
dialog?
primary side, I believe, is the exterior side of your wall.
You
It's
know
the
what? I
part of the
explain it
wall
like
closest
this.
to the top of the screen.
No, primary side is, I always look at it this way. So here's my outside of the house, and this is the inside of the house. The primary side for the outside of the house is this side. This is the
Right.
secondary side. But now if this is the inside of the house, and that's the X side, this is the primary side, that's the secondary side. So it's based on, the primary side is based on whichever side of the, whichever, are you primary of the interior, primary of the exterior, right?
Good thing to look at.
Yeah. So I'm going to just show something real quick as kind of like a trick for this is, one, I want to get into my default settings and just take note of the general wall defaults. And what it's telling me is my resize edit handle and the point at which my walls will resize is based on what I have selected here. Now, out of the box setting, I believe, is main layer outside.
Right.
I'm largely in a remodel workflow, so I care more about resizing about the inner surface, which is usually my true measurement. So if I'm going out in the field and measuring, I definitely want to be resizing about the inner surface, and I want the inner surface to be my selection point. Okay, so we notice now when I select the wall, the inner surface is what my edit handle is on. Also notice that the dimension it is carrying to the primary side, in this case, is the exterior surface. So because this is an interior wall, and I don't care which side is interior or exterior because they both are exactly the same, I could, in my edit toolbar, which is usually at the bottom of your screen, flip the side. Now, when I reverse the side, notice what happens to the temp dimensions is it's still going to that other side.
It switched your selection handle to the other side.
It switched the selection handle to the other side, but it actually didn't change where the dimension came from.
No.
I actually thought honestly that it did, so I'm making a mistake on the fly. But if you want to show both sides of this, I would just say run that secondary side, or in terms of temp dimensions, maybe you just want to throw in, your manual dimension to kind of pick that up.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, if I need to like figure out a distance from something and I'm not getting the correct dimension, I might even tab over to something, hit the tab button, and subtract 144 to make sure that I'm actually 12 feet away from that wall. If for some reason my temp dimensions aren't giving me the what I need out of it. The other thing that I like to do is sometimes I need a dimension to carry all the way through. So I know that this wall is going to connect to this wall. So I'll actually pull this back temporarily just to kind of get this distance as a check, right? So I'm just drawing in partial walls to get full scope distances, knowing that I could take this wall and automatically connect it to this wall later on.
So let's talk about auto interior dimensions for a second, because that's helpful. So click on that room and hit the auto dimension button on the bottom of the screen. Click on that middle room. Yeah, there you got it on the toolbar. So it's going to be on your edit tools. When you click inside of a room, so what did you hit? You hit
I hit auto interior, but let me just turn off everything. What you're talking about is selecting a room, and then we can
click on that one right
there. Room dimensions.
So there you can click on a room, or you can group select rooms and do them as a group. All right. Now, in this case, it put the dimensions inside the room. Okay. So that's a setting in the defaults now for that room.
Yeah.
So let's go click on that. We'll double click on the ruler icon now. and you can change that on the fly. You've got two options here. Now, if you click on auto interior, here's the things that you can have auto interior add dimensions to, but it's going to keep adding them inside the room until you go up to dimension setup, the auto dimension at the top there. And then down there near, let's see, where is it again? It's it's under setup automatic under the room. You're going to go inside, you're going to go outside the room down at the bottom there. Now it's going to put all your dimensions, when you click the interior dimension tool, outside of the walls of that room. So see how it does it, changes it there. So sometimes when I'm working on a kitchen, I don't want my kitchen full of dimensions. I want them outside of the room. So that makes it a little easier to get those where you want them to be. And then
Yeah,
again,
I have a dimension default similar to what you're talking about here. You can set up different dimension defaults for this. So I have one that I call auto plan and CB. And so when I then hit my auto interior dimensions, it's in a different view that I have these displayed. Let me switch to that. If I hit my auto interior dimensions for that dimension default, then it's placing it outside of the room like that.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Yeah. And then what Robin was talking about earlier is if I just set up some elevation cameras, I oftentimes will stack my elevations on layouts side by side. So if I'm going to stack another elevation to the side here in layout, that means I don't need to dimension the left side here because the left side is going to come from that other elevation. So
Sure.
I have a default for top and bottom. I have a default for just showing NKBA right. So if I hit auto elevations, it's going to show this just on the right.
Yeah.
As opposed to NKBA left is going to show this just on the left-hand side or just top and bottom. So that's a way.
This is so cool of how you can actually get additional dimensions, or like when you, this is just a very cool option of how to use your dimension tool to really customize the dimensions that you use on a regular basis. It's just brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, another thing I'm always doing is maybe sometimes I just want to know distance between countertops only. So I do have one that's just NKBA countertops. Click that ruler through there. Show me the distance between countertops.
Although, Renee, I will have to chat with you about NKBA dimensioning because there's a few things that are off on here. So we'll have a conversation.
Well, I don't find that this is NKBA at all. This was a request
No, it's
from
not.
other people. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's not NKBA at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great tool, and being able to elevate your level of program use and understand how to change out, make dimensions work for you. It's absolutely brilliant. So thank you.
Sweet.
Nice.
What's another one, Dan?
Oh, let's see. You had
We just
one.
going down the line?
No, we're going to cover like only a few of these things. It's unclear where section details should be stored and how to best use cross sections for detailed house sections.
Okay. All right, well, I thought you might do that one, but I can do that one. I was going to show you this one. I'm going to roast you a little bit here.
Let's do a little general talk on that one. So go ahead, and why don't you start out?
Well, I'm going to start one other one, which is dragging an object across a heavy hatch pattern.
Oh yeah, that was right below that one.
Now, Dan and I had a long-standing feud, and
we don't feud. We just disagree.
It's about the S key, and so if I'm dragging this across a bunch of things, you're going to see that a bunch of neon green circles are picking up, and my cabinet is just bouncing all over the place, right? That's because it's picking up all these snaps along the way. So one thing that the S key out of the box does, if you haven't applied a hotkey to it, is when I'm dragging this, notice it's bouncing, okay? Now this time, I'm going to hold the S key. It's not picking up any snaps along the way, and I'm still dragging it.
The control key does.
No, the control key unbinds in any direction. So I'm no longer dragging polarly here.
No, you see, you say okay.
So the S key just will not pick up additional snaps. If I let go of the S key now, it will pick up new snaps, and it will miss the snaps I already passed.
Okay.
So that's what that does. So if you don't have that applied to something, that's a way that you could drag something past things that, aren't getting affected. Now, if you do have the S key, because it seems like a really convenient key, and Dan's got that set up on his hotkeys, another way to do this is if you know where you're going to drag this to, then you could hold kind of control past that section and then let go of control is another way of
Puts
doing
it
it.
back in line, yeah.
It puts it back in line, yeah. Okay, and then the cross section thing is when we pull cross sections, it just has too much information. I would say maybe just use the back clipped cross section, which looks like this icon, and just limit your back clip. Just make it real short. Maybe you want to be in a framing view. So maybe I want to be in a floor framing view, and I want to have built all framing. And so then once I've got built all framing, then maybe I'm just going just enough to pick up a framing member that I want in that cross-section view.
So if it's a truss or something like that, that's all you would see.
So we're clipping the back of this camera at that at the back edit handle of the camera. So if I was displaying cameras in this view, which I don't seem to be,
Your layer set has a lot to do with how much is showing there too.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you got some lines that you don't want there, try getting your layer hider on and click on it and see if it cleans it up the way you want it. If it does, great. If it doesn't, undo it so it comes back, and work with it that way. And then create a layer set just for that camera view that you're trying to get it for your details.
Yeah, and that's getting into more complication for sure. But you can always make a copy, especially from Aldo. What John's saying here is, hey, we could just copy this set and start messing around with the layers of it, and it will be associated with the active camera. Just keep in mind, I'm currently in my plan view tab. I'm not on the cross section tab. So if I hit copy set, that was going to copy for the plan view, not the cross section. And so that would have changed the layer set I'm using in plan view. Now, another couple things that you can do in this is we can actually break the cross section and manipulate it around sections. And what it's showing you here is this is still back clipped between these two sections here.
Right.
So I just picked up a new portion of this house from that.
Careful of that because it's kind of weird. You want to define that on your view. That's
a pretty weird cross section now.
That is going to be a little confusing when you look at the plan. What?
Right. And so the last thing I'll say is that if you edit the active view and then you get down into, let's see, I need to be in the cross section view. If I'm editing the active view of the cross section, then we have the ability to clip sides as well, or clip elevation. So clip sides, it's going to say, hey, do you want to turn on clip lines? And so this represents where we're clipping. This is actually the jog. So I can move the jog if I wanted to. Okay. And this is actually the side clip. So I can change the side clip. That's
you can
the
do
same
that on the floor plan too. Yeah.
That's the same thing as dragging this down or dragging this forward.
Yeah. There's a ton of flexibility there.
Yeah. And then don't forget about, we have the ability to do auto detail. And so auto detail might fill in some of your.
In the last few minutes here, let me just show my screen for a second.
Yeah.
And there was a question about creating cross sections from Chief Architect. In that, there seems to be a lot of work involved in creating cross sections. And you know what? I agree. Cross sections are a lot of work. So it's just part of the game, I'm afraid. There is no real, I certainly haven't found out any real super duper done, draw some walls and poof, you got a beautiful cross section. I mean, you've got your cross section tool that you use, Renee, but I like doing sections like this where most of what you see on the screen here is from the model, probably 75% of it. And then I've added things like, the insulation. I've added out the different blocks on. I wish Chief would do, block hatching like that, but it doesn't. So I've added some details to this and then all of the text. So this is, I do my framing. I'm a big framing guy, so I like doing my framing. So this is going to be pretty accurate, other than the truss webbing. Of course, the manufacturer is going to get all that right. But so I put effort into getting all my framing right. So when I do my cross sections, they do turn out well. One little thing that you can do to help a little bit is when you do a cross section, and if you've set up your walls and things correctly, let me just got things all messed up here. You could do the auto detailing tool. That's this little thing right here. It adds a few CAD boxes too. Someday it'd be great if that would label it and do everything, but it doesn't. So it just adds hatching. It'll add, concrete. It'll add, whatever you've told that wall or that item to have for hatching. In this case, insulation. You've told that wall to be an insulated wall. It's going to add that kind of hatching. It's just a CAD box. You could have drawn that in yourself. So I could take that and I could.
Yeah, but
make that
Dan,
part.
I think there's something about like what you're doing where you're creating something, and I really apologize. It's really loud here. But I
No,
think
you're
that
fine.
the people, when you do that, you're really adding your knowledge and you're really making something that's more not so. I think what you're showing right now, that image is so pretty. It's really pretty looking and it
Well, it's
means
accurate.
something and it's accurate and you're
Yeah.
not relying just on the program, because the program, obviously we know that the program can create things that
Yeah.
you can't really build.
Because it
And this is using your level of intelligence and your
and more.
knowledge, and you're creating something more hands-on. It's more hand drawing. And
Yeah.
I love this part. This
And
is
I
what I
and I've
think is so
saved a
much
lot
fun.
of details in my library. So when I have something that's similar to this and I need a lot of that same text, I'll just go grab that, open it, and pull the text out of it. I'll hit the text icon and I'll just draw a marquee and just get the text and copy that and paste that into the plan I'm working on, and then move that text around. Usually I don't get the arrows, I just get the text. But in fact, let's delete the arrows by selecting the arrow icon and marquee, select this, and I can get rid of just the arrows. And now I've just got text. So then I'll just kind of put all this stuff in place and maybe go change a few of the words and done. I mean, it doesn't take long to label those kind of things. It takes more time to make sure your drawing is correct and your dimensions are correct. And
Well, and then
that's where I put a lot of my effort.
for those of you who are listening and you don't have you do a lot of work like this, you definitely want Renee's Pro Plan, because a lot of that is already set up and it's so organized. Really big program, but it's something to consider that will make your life easier. But you still have to add your own
You still got to
brain
do
work
stuff.
into
Yep.
it. You still have to
Got
do
to do
stuff.
the
It's
work.
not going to do it all for you.
No, it's not. So
This was great,
cool.
you guys. Good job.
So yeah, cool.
What are some of the, Dan, someone had a comment that your Pro Academy, you set up a bunch of dimension defaults. Would you end up covering in that?
Is that what you covered this week, John? When did we cover dimension defaults?
Yeah,
We probably have covered it because we've covered a ton of things in the Pro Academy.
I think they were talking about something that he did a while ago.
Let me change all
possibly.
my dimensions to suit what I need. Nice.
Yeah. So so if I were to log into the Pro Academy, hang on a second. Take 1 second and show this. See if I can find it easily enough. Oh, come on, Dan. We've been really having some great conversations in a Pro Academy in our live sessions. It's really a lot of fun. So
I got an idea for your next session.
all right, what you got?
You just said that you wished that they had a hatch for your block wall assembly. So you should show the pattern creation tool and make yourself a block wall.
Oh, come on, no, that'd be too easy. Take all the fun out of it. But what a great idea. Thanks, Renee. So I will do that. So let's go to the live session replays and let's click on the video index. And let's do a quick search for, I could use a search tool here, but I'm just going to go Alt F and search for dimensions.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, I just hit Alt or hit Control F or Alt F. And this is all of the live sessions that we've done. so far since November. So I could just scroll down the list here and just kind of go through these. And again, you think about, I mentioned earlier, they just added the ability for me to have clickable time codes. That'll take you right to that spot in that video. These will all be clickable soon. So you'll be able to click on that number and poof, you're there. So we can have all of these videos part of just one video. So I'm really excited about that. You could do that on YouTube now. It's going to be a little more work for me because I have to do them manually, but it's still there. That's a big deal for me. I've been wanting that for 20 years in the program that I do. So, so that should be really helpful. So if I were to just scroll through these different dimension things, layer heighter, countertops. So we do talk about dimensions quite a bit. Simplify outer dimensions. Okay.
It's a big topic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody has a different standard they want.
Yeah. And the cool thing about the Pro Academy too, since we do four sessions a day for 2 days out of the month, you can get in touch with me ahead of time. Say, hey, let's talk about dimensions. I want to learn more about just that topic, and we'll cover just that topic. So it's really been very, very beneficial for me and for everybody involved. So John just did these, and these are coming up on the 18th now. So we start out with a Q&A session. Then I get into a bit of a training session. We'll cover just more of a specific topic. Then we spend the afternoon doing plan reviews where we'll open plans and talk about how we do things, like how I do those cross sections. And then the evening we do a Q&A session. So it's fun. Cool.
Dan, you got 10 minutes after we end the call?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think Michael Powell is in your Pro Academy, and he's got a question here, and I think I could show you something cool to show him in the Pro Academy.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Well, with that, yeah, go ahead.
Questions. Robin, what headset are you using?
Oh, we lost Robin.
Okay.
She uses the same one I have.
Same one that Mike or Dan has.
Yeah, it's called Shocks. Yeah. If you go to, let's see, do I have, it's SHOKS. I think it's that, I think. I love this headset. I use it for everything. It's called a bone conducting headset because it's not in your ear, it's next to your ear. And so the one I use is...
You can't play stuff really loud with it. Or you can, but it's going to vibrate on your temple like crazy. It's going to drive you nuts.
If I'm gonna watch a movie or something, I don't use these. I use my other headset with the, good speakers in the ear, or I have the Bose, headsets that I use. But you would want to use, where are they here? Where are they? Compare all products. Here we go. I have the one with a mic on it. How come they're not showing that here?
Shocks has an affiliate program, Dan. What are you doing?
Yeah, there it is. Here's the one I use.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I use, so they got a new one out now. This thing is amazing. I don't have the thing. I just use the Bluetooth. I can be in a crowded coffee shop like Robin just was. You can't hear anything in the background. I mean, if you're a foot away from me, you can't hear that noise. So it's really, really good for if you're in a loud environment. And I just love having it. So when I'm riding my bike and stuff, I'll use this so I don't have to have my ears plugged. And that's really nice too. So on a windy day or something like that. I do need to get some without a mic on it though. And the mic's really good too. So anyway, that's what I use. But yeah, I've never looked in their affiliate program, but I probably should do that.
There you go. Let's see. We got just a couple of closing things.
We could probably keep going all afternoon here if we wanted to.
Yeah, I have a few more I'd love to answer.
Yeah.
Starting point learning Ruby is that's a tough one because Ruby on Rails doesn't quite apply to Chief in the same way you think, which is why ChatGPT gets so many things wrong. So you might just go search Ruby stuff or macro stuff in the Chief Talk forum and kind of like pick apart some info there. Other than that, maybe just training.
Is Joe still doing the macro stuff?
Yeah, he still does them.
Yeah.
And then I know Michael Basiglia does training. I do training if you want to do some Ruby stuff with me, but
Yeah.
maybe start reading Ruby on Rails. But there are some very specific chief only things. Go to Coeur d'Alene, talk to the guys that
Thanks, Mike.
that built the program, and they'll tell you some cool tricks. Yeah, and
Awesome.
then someone else had something, but I guess we'll miss it and go to next time.
All right.
Say, Michael Powell, if you're still on here and you want to talk, I'd love your input on how to get rid of the shingle stuff or get some more comfort. So you can get a hold of me right there at john@imaginehealthanddrafting.com.
Look them up. Awesome.
Got some stuff we want to share.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time. I think we'll pick up on the same topic of answering questions. We'll be a bit more refined next time. We'll try to get through more things. So thanks, everyone. See you next time. Bye.